Right. Who do we have on here? Good morning, Victoria, Chris, and Shaheen. Hopefully others will join in. If not, then it's all us, and you get to ask all the questions that you would like to ask. So today we're going to talk about um, skills to spark a great career, which is our number one skills. And we were talking about this on another call a few minutes ago. Is lead generating and having conversations with sellers and buyers, and you have to know what to say when you're going to do that, right? You can't just wing it. I mean, we can wing a lot of things in life. Sales, you necessarily cannot just wing it. Okay, you don't have to know everything to get out there and do it, because you're never going to know everything in this business, because it's ever changing. The players are always changing, the scenarios are always changing, and sometimes the rules even change. So if you're going to wait to start your career, or if you're going to wait to grow your career until you know everything, you'll never accomplish, you'll never do that. You'll never start and you'll never grow. So one of the things that's most important for us is to know what to say, when to say it. And that's going to give you the confidence. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Is everybody here going along with the Ignite classes? Like, did you start with session 1 and your intention is to go all the way to the end? If you're in a quiet place, feel free to take your mute off. That way you can interact a little easier. If you're not, then keep your mute on and bounce in when you can. If you're driving or doing something dangerous, it's fine if you just listen. Okay.
Yeah, I did the first one day before yesterday, and
okay.
this is I'm doing it all again.
Okay.
I did
Have
the
you
last
done
time.
it? Have you done it before, Shaheen, or is this your first time through, or did you
This is a second time. I did
were you
last.
bouncing around a little bit?
Okay, I did last month. We started right last month, or I don't remember. It was in
I think so, because this is number 3, so it must have started.
Okay.
Wait, no, I guess this week
We started Monday with this round.
This week, the first week, but we did it a month ago, right?
Yeah, a month ago. I'm talking about a month ago one. I did the whole, except I think maybe I missed one.
Oh, okay.
But this is my second.
And have you already seen that you picked up something different this time than what you did the first time?
This time, this is the second one. Last,
right.
Yeah. So it's like repeating is good. It's more and more learning.
Right, because each time you take it, right, you pick up something different, or you might have a different instructor. Like, I did not teach this class in the last round, so you might hear something different this time than what you heard last time. So the great thing is these classes are free, and you're able to take them whenever you want and as many times as you want. So that's the good thing. So today we're going to talk again. We're going to be going over what successful agents do every day, right? So if you want to grow your business, the left-hand column is showing you that you need to lead generate for buyers and sellers, make seller listing presentations and get listings, make buyer presentations. It says get listings. They call everything listings, but I would say I think that what that means is buyer agency agreements. Okay. And then preview real estate. Why do we preview real estate? What would be the reason for doing that? Going to see real estate without having a client with you?
Getting to know the area.
Getting to know the area, right? Right. What's around that house? What's the neighborhood like?
And what the value is in that area. If I know I have a listing coming up in Melrose Park, I want to make sure I see everything in Melrose Park, so I know that I'm doing the best for my clients. Right.
Right. You might also be previewing it for a buyer who's out of town and will be coming into town, or maybe not coming into town and counting on you to find them the right property, sight unseen to them, right? Getting familiar with how to do a walkthrough of a property yourself, so that you don't look, sometimes you'll go into houses that all have the same layout. Sometimes they'll be different, right? But in some areas, the layouts of houses, like a 3-bedroom brick ranch, it's a 3-bedroom brick ranch. The layout's going to be kind of the same, but you want to be familiar with that layout so that you look comfortable when you're showing a property and not surprised every time you go through a doorway and discover what room is there, right? You're the professional. And like Nicole said, it gives you an opportunity to see what the inventory is and how different properties compare to one another. You might get a call from a buyer or an internet lead from a buyer asking you about a house that is not your listing. It's good for you to know the area and what's available. So it's really getting comfortable with being in other people's houses, right? It is part of it, and being in different neighborhoods. You're getting comfortable with that so that your conversations and your showings can be more comfortable too. So, and then the other side, the right side, is talking about running our business. So when we're talking about running our business, that means marketing seller listings, showing buyers houses, negotiating contracts, transaction management to closing. It's a lot to do. There's a long list under that item. If you were to write it out, vendor management, setting goals, compliance/risk management, attend training, get coaching, and manage your money. So I can't even say what's the most important thing there. I mean, it's all very important, right? So those are things that you have to have in control if you're running a business. And it's really important for you to understand that you are running a business. You are a business now, or you have been a business, but maybe not operating yourself as a business. So you're not an employee anymore. You are a business, and your success and your growth is wholly dependent upon you and the actions that you take. Okay. So what we're going to focus on today on the growth side is everything, all of it, because those are your conversations. Those are where you're having conversations, whether it be your lead generating or talking to a seller or listing presentation, doing a buyer consultation, or even previewing real
Good. I'm
estate.
trying to.
You might be talking with the owner of the property of a for sale by owner. You might be talking with the listing agent. Who knows? So you need to know what to say. On the run side of the business, we'll be talking about, again, those things where you're talking to somebody, showing buyers houses, negotiating contracts, and transaction management to closing. So that's what we're focused on today. So the purpose of scripts. Scripts are going to help you to be comfortable lead generating. And lead generating has all different, forms. It doesn't mean getting on the phone and making phone calls for 3 to 10 hours a day. Okay. You may love to do that. And if you love to do that, kudos to you. Go for it. Get on the phone and don't stop calling till you have however many appointments you want to have that day set up. And it may also be social media, and even in social media, you have to know what to say. You have to know when to be funny, when to be serious, what information to share, what information is oversharing, right? It helps you to uncover motivation. It also helps you to identify any objections that the buyer or seller may have with moving forward so that you can tackle those head on right at the beginning and get them out of the way. Scripts help you close deals. If you know what to say and be in control, you can close deals faster and hopefully keep them together better as well. It also helps you speak in terms the customer understands. We speak in a lot of acronyms in real estate. There's an acronym for just about everything. So you need to know what those acronyms mean, and speak in a language that the customer will understand that is not an acronym, like the actual words. And it helps you build confidence. Does everybody here use scripts or study scripts or practice scripts or participate in the script practice that we have in the office at all? Does anybody?
I used to, actually nowadays no one comes on the Monday morning script practice. So I stopped coming. No one is
Oh,
coming.
nobody was coming to the Zoom?
No, no. I was the only one, and then I was waiting, and then I stopped going there.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's too bad. I didn't know that. I didn't know that nobody was showing up there.
Yeah.
We'll have to brainstorm how we can maybe improve that. it's sometimes easier to get people in person, but I know even that kind of tapers off for a while. I don't know, maybe every Monday's too much. Maybe we need to talk about that. I'm not really sure.
And I
But
think maybe it's too early, 8:30. So Monday morning, 8:30. So one of the reason is that, yeah, I
the
believe.
reason why it's at 8:30 is because you should have a 20 to 30-minute script practice and review, and then at 9 o'clock you get on the phone, and with that motivation and energy that you potentially get from doing the script practice, go right into your lead gen calls. That's why
Yeah.
they do it that early. I
Yeah, maybe we can do 9, maybe
mean,
if people come.
when back in the day when I was new in real estate, I was a few years into real estate. I had one-on-one coaching with the Mike Ferry organization, and I lead generated every morning early, and some mornings were earlier than others because I lead generated with agents all over the country. So we all had different time frames. So some mornings were earlier, some mornings were too late for me, but if the other agent was on the West Coast, it either had to be 4 in the morning for them, or 10 o'clock for me. So we used to have to do that, but it was always better to do it at the beginning of the day because you have your most energy then, and you can get your critiquing, and most of the time it was good comments, and sometimes it was helpful comments that made your calls then more productive. It doesn't matter what time you do it, though. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what time you do it, but you have to do it. Okay, you have to know what to say. So here's an example of scripts, right? If you go to a store, right, inevitably somebody always approaches you and asks you, I have to move you, did you find everything you're looking for, right? Go ahead, look around, please let me know if I can help. I see you're admiring that big screen TV. Are you looking to get one for the big game this weekend? Believe it or not, those are all scripts. There are things that they say over and over and over again, and they say them comfortably and confidently because of that. And a script doesn't mean that you have to say it exactly 100% verbatim, right? You learn the scripts. It's only to ingrain that dialogue into your brain so that when you're with a client, when you're speaking with a consumer, customer, client, you can speak comfortably and you're not in your head thinking about what do I have to say next. You know what you're going to say next. It's ingrained in you so you can listen better. So actually knowing the scripts helps you in that way too. Not only the confidence, but it helps you to relax and listen. And listening is almost more important than talking in this business. In fact, silence is our greatest weapon in many cases. So that's why it's important. A lot of people think, well, I don't want to learn scripts. I don't want to sound canned. You guys, Shaheen, Nicole, Mariella, you've all heard me talk all the time. You know the scripts. How many times have you heard me talk and you know that the base of whatever I said came from a script that you're studying or you've studied?
You are exactly right.
Yeah.
But it doesn't sound like a script because you've made it your own.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I don't feel like you're reading, well, Nicole, thank you for taking my phone call today.
Right. Because like you said, I've made it it's a part of me now. It's like an extension of me. And so I can put it in my own words, and I could be saying the same exact base script, right, to 3 different people, and it will come out with 3 different of my own twists on it, because it has to be for what their situation is, so it's just so comforting that I never have to think about what I'm going to say. I never am concerned about getting an objection or a question. I'm never concerned with that. I always know that I will know what to say. And when you reach that point, and I've trained a lot of agents in scripts over my 25 years in the business, and the ones that bucked doing the script practice the most have years later, have not too long after that, when they first said, when they first had a meeting with a client and a script came out of their mouth very casually and comfortably, they've always come back to me and said, "Oh my God, Sally, you were so right. I had a meeting, I said this, and I thought, and after I was done, I was like, where did that come from?" Like, I was so comfortable. I knew exactly what to say. And they're like, "Yep, I knew what it came from you making me do the script practice." And even years later, I've been, some agents have reached out to me who have had, a lot of success in this business. And, I see them on Facebook and I congratulate them. And, they're very kind to me, that, they're always like, "Well, I learned from the best," or it's all because I listened to you back when I was, at the beginning. So the ALC members and others in our office and others that we bring in to teach you, um, you don't waste your time not listening. The sooner you get on board and do your script practice and do your lead gen in a way that you're comfortable doing it, the faster your business will grow. And and that's what you want. That's the whole point. So what are some of your limiting beliefs regarding scripts? Do you have any? Why don't you, if you're not practicing them, why aren't you? Shaheen, I know you're not, because nobody was showing up. So we need to fix that for you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else? No? We'll move on. The benefit of using scripts, I kind of just went over that, right? Scripts help you talk better. Scripts build confidence and job ability. They allow you to stay focused on the conversation and in the present moment, and they allow for consistency in what is said and the actions that agents take. So yeah, that's important too, right? Especially now. I mean, it always has been important, but that is the other thing that scripts do, right? They allow us to be consistent in our conversation. So we're not telling one client one thing and one client another, or treating one client one way and treating another client another. This is how we operate, right? It is our routine. It is our way of treating everyone and speaking to everyone. So there's never ever going to be a question that you're treating someone unfairly, because you're treating everyone equally, right? So that in some ways is very critical, to have the scripts and for consistency. I think there's a video here. Let's see what we're going to listen to. There we go.
Hi, I'm Jeff Glover, and I'm going to tell you the top 5 things that you need to know about using scripts. Step 1, you're going to need to get your scripts from a top agent in the office, your team leader, a MAPS coach, or of course Keller Williams University. Step 2, we're going to need to do a total transformation of, instead of talking and telling, of asking questions. Selling isn't telling, selling is asking a series of questions that leads to desired response. So instead of talking so much, we need to get in the habit of asking questions. And asking questions gives us control of the conversation. Control of the conversation gives us our ultimate outcome, which is an appointment set or closing. Step 3, we need to listen with good intentions. Well, what I mean by that is we need to listen to their answers instead of just listening to them talk and asking another question that comes to mind. For example, instead of asking a seller where they're moving to and then going on to the next question, how soon would you like to be there? Ask them, where are you moving to? And when they give you a response, ask them, what takes you there? Step 4 in becoming better at scripts is we need to learn to mimic, mirror, and match the prospect. What I mean by that is we have to listen to their tone of voice. We have to speed up or slow down based on how fast the prospect is talking. That means when they respond and say, we're moving to Toledo. Oh, Toledo, that's exciting. What takes you there? 93% of communication is body language and tonality. And that means only 7% are the words that we say or the questions that we ask. Step 5, we need to take these 5 points and practice them daily. If you think of NFL teams, they practice 50, 60 hours on the practice field for a 1-hour game. Our game is our presentations and our appointments, and we need to practice daily everything that we've learned every single day before we meet with our clients. When it comes to scripts, my biggest aha is that everybody has their own scripts. We're pre-programmed to have scripts and we're talking and asking questions that are scripted. However, what we found is that most of our own scripts are no good. And so we have to learn the right scripts, the right questions to maintain control of the conversation. Thanks for watching KW Connect. Make it a great day.
Okay. So he kind of reiterated a lot of what we were already talking about and added a little bit more to it. So go to page 5 in your guide. Does everybody have your participant guide?
Yes.
Okay, go to page 5 in there. There's some questions on that page, I believe, about, sorry, my computer's acting up. Okay, so what is the benefit of asking questions versus telling in a conversation? Is that one of your questions on your guide?
Yeah, that's the first question.
Okay, great. So what do you think the difference is between asking questions and just telling, everything in a conversation?
So like asking a question, you get the answer from the client.
Right? You get their answer, not the answer you've made
Yeah,
up in your
their
head.
answer. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
like talking, versus telling a conversation is like that kind of talking, is it?
Right. Yeah. You don't want to be the only one talking in the conversation. So asking questions, you're correct. You get their answer, not the answer that you've made up in your head about why you're there or what you're talking about or what their goals are. It also helps you to build rapport with them and show that you have care and concern about what's on their mind. Right.
Yeah, you're listening to them.
Correct. You're listening to them instead of them just listening to you and glazing over and being, then they're, not interested because you are basically showing that you're not interested in them. So kind of one of the things that I always did is whenever and someone asks a question, I would, basically repeat it to make sure I understood the question and then answer it and then ask them a question. Okay.
Yes.
So that helps to make sure that they understand that I hear them, I understand them, and answer their question. And then I ask a follow-up question to it or another question that leads them in a direction that I want to take the conversation. Okay.
Right.
So what are some things that you can do? Well, that's what we just said. What are some things that you can do in a conversation to show the other party that you are truly listening? Reconfirm what they're asking or what they're saying, and ask them questions.
Continue with the conversation.
Yep, continue with the conversation, right? So then they know that you're paying attention, that you're present. Okay, and then how does the tone of voice and body language affect the conversation? That's an important one. For some people, that's a harder one. Our tone of voice, our rate of speech, and our posture in a conversation. Have you noticed any situations where you're uncomfortable or where the client is obviously uncomfortable with the conversation, Shaheen? I mean, even in your personal life, have you ever been like with somebody and things just felt off?
Yeah, because you have to be like very kind of listening and then polite, kind of like smiley face or something.
Right. And sometimes you have to kind of join them where they're at. Like if they seem really like excited and happy and upbeat and in a good mood, you have to be that way too, even if you're not feeling that way inside. For whatever reason at that moment, you have to be that way because you're meeting them where they're at and letting them be comfortable, like letting them feel comfortable. Same thing if they're angry or upset about something, you almost want to, depending on what it is, you almost want to get on board with them. Like a perfect example would be you call a for sale by owner, right? And they answer the phone. And as soon as you say, this is Sally Haynes with Keller Williams Realty, they go, oh man, come on, really? Another realtor? What is the deal with you people? You're constantly calling me. And Keller Williams, did you say? Keller Williams in Park Ridge? Yes, I did. Well, how many people do you have there? Are all of you going to call me? and you kind of be like, you know what? I can understand how you feel 100%. I would not like that either. And that's all the more reason for you to get together with me today so we can talk about how we can stop that from happening. And by the way, isn't an office that has aggressive agents who are calling you daily exactly the kind of company you want to be working for? So you kind of get on board with them. Yeah, I understand why you're upset. I would be upset too. And then you kind of bring your tone down, and it helps you've met them where they're at, and now you can guide them down to where you want them to be. Right? The same thing if somebody is like overzealous and so excited, I can't wait to sell my house, or I can't wait to do this, or I can't wait to buy a house, I can't wait to get out and look at houses. You need to be like, I know it's going to be so much fun. And I can tell by the way you are, we're going to have a blast. Now, I want to talk to you first, though, about the process. You see how I'm like bringing it down a notch?
Right.
And you got to bring them down so you can get their attention and their focus. Now you can have the serious conversation, right?
Yeah.
So that's what that means about mirroring and matching their tonality, their rate of speech. Another thing, if you're a fast talker, like I used to be a much faster talker than I am now. Now I'm kind of mid-range, which makes it easier for me to go up or down. But I used to talk 1,000,000 miles an hour. So you have to, if you're talking to somebody who speaks fast and loudly, you have to keep up. Maybe not as loud, maybe not as fast. You definitely can't be soft-spoken and slow, because they will not have confidence in you.
And if they'll eat you alive.
They will eat you alive. Yeah, they will be your boss. You will not be in control. Or they will not work with you because they'll think you're too slow. Okay. And conversely, if you are working with a client or trying to gain a client who is very soft-spoken and timid and gentle, you need to bring yourself down a notch and be a little more soft-spoken. Speak gently and slowly. Make sure you understand. Make sure you explain as many different ways as you have to explain for the person to understand what's happening next, and get them to reaffirm to you that they understand. I will flat out ask people whether they're a fast talker, slow talker, doesn't matter. I can tell if somebody truly understands what I'm saying. And if they don't and they say they do, I always say, great, now explain it back to me. I want to make sure that you got it. So explain it back to me so that I know that we're both on the same page. And that also is reassuring for them, because they know I'm not going to let them make the next step without knowing, right? And again, it's just part of my script. It's part of my dialogue with every client. There are several sections in this particular part that require me to send you off to do some role playing. Obviously, number one, we don't have enough people. Number two, I can't do breakout sessions in here like other groups can do. So I think that we'll just do some role playing of some scripts between us. How does that sound?
Excuse me.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
So here's something too. It's really important for you to understand that reading through a script one time is not enough to internalize them. So let me tell you a little bit about what I did to memorize scripts, if that's okay with you. You good with that? So, yes. Okay, great. So one of the things I did, as I said, is I role played script practice every morning, Monday through Friday, for 5 years with agents across the country. Now, could you do that? Absolutely. Lots of agents in Keller Williams are looking for script practice partners. In fact, there are Facebook groups of Keller Williams agents for script practice, and they do Zoom calls and they script practice together, and they partner up and they call each other and script practice. If you are looking for somebody to script practice with, you can find somebody in the Keller Williams system who will do that with you all over the country. And the beauty of practicing scripts, even with agents outside of our office, is you get a different spin, right? You get a different take on it. You get to go through different scenarios, and it really helps you learn a lot from them and they from you. So I highly recommend that. Another thing to do is to actually write the script out by hand, right? A lot of us when we were kids, if we wrote it, we remembered it. If we wrote it, we remembered it, and we'd write it over and over and over and over again. That's probably why the teachers gave you that punishment. Remember, I will not talk in class. 100 times you had to write it.
Yeah.
I'm a talker, so I had to do that one a lot.
Mm.
So writing it helps, right? My mom used to tell me to write it out and put it under your pillow and sleep with it. Trust me, I've done that too. And another way is to what they call it chanting. So basically you take a script, and let me see, is there one in here that I could use? Probably towards the end. Let me go to the end here. And no, I don't see one in here. That's interesting. Do you have scripts in your manual?
No.
No, we don't. It's in yours.
Nope, they're not in mine. It says the role play script practice, so why wouldn't they give us a script practice book? Spark script practice book. Oh, I see. Choose a relevant script from the Spark script book. So there must be a Spark script book. Nicole, can you see if you could? Do you have a second to see if you could find that and then post the link? I know
I'm on my cell phone.
Oh, you're on your cell phone.
Mariella's got it.
Mariella, are you on the desk? Maybe.
Yeah, she's on the desktop. She's got it. She's getting it. I can email it to you all.
I will do it in 1 second.
Thank you. Okay, I'll just find some words here just to give you an example of what I'm talking about. So let me find something. All right, so I'm just going to read something that makes no sense. It's not a script, but I'm just going to show you what chanting means. So if you're chanting, you take a script and you basically read through it really fast and very monotone 10 times. Okay, and I did this a lot. And it just makes it part of you. So basically you say, explain that participants will be working with a partner to practice scripts, explain that they will be working on part one instruction first, review the instructions for part one included in the participant guide, ask participants. So that's how you do it. Okay.
Oh.
You just read through it really fast, 10 times. And
Okay.
it somehow plants it into your brain. So these are all different ways that
It's like a memorization.
Exactly. It is exactly a memorization. It doesn't matter what tone you say it in. It doesn't matter that you're getting somebody to respond to any questions that might be in the scripts. It doesn't matter. You're just zooming right through it to get it into your brain, memorizing, and internalizing it. So, and again, obviously script practicing with someone else. So there's many, many ways that you can memorize and internalize the scripts. So try them all, or do the one that works best for you. If you know you might know which one works best for you. Okay.
So we have page 7 on that. It says everything. Page 7 from the.
Yes. Page 7 on your guide says all that. Yep.
Yeah.
And see, here's another thing. I'm not even reading the guide. Like I'm going through it to look for particular things I'm looking for and to make sure that I'm staying on track, but I'm not even reading that. And I'm saying what it says.
Yeah.
Because I learned this.
Mm-hmm.
This is how I learned it. This is not new material. It may have been updated and tweaked here or there, but at the end of the day, it's not new material. And I've been doing this 25 years, and this is how I learned it. So it's not, and when I first got into the business, my first couple of years, I thought I was like Superwoman. I came from the corporate world. I was an executive assistant. I was making PowerPoints. I was writing stuff for people to say. I thought I knew it all, right? And I thought I could do this without having to take a class or learn all that. And what I found was I was wasting time trying to create something that was already created and proven. So that was when I think I was 3 years in the business when I finally said, you know what, this is not working for you. You're doing okay, but you're not doing what you want to do. And you're fighting every step of the way because you want to do it, quote unquote, your way.
Yeah.
And so that's when I got into the Mike Ferry coaching program, and I said, okay, I submit. I submit. I will listen to what you tell me to do,
Okay.
you know? So, again, it took me, 3 years in the business to get there. And you just proved it 100%. How even scripts and internalizing something sticks with you where you don't even need to read the manual to teach a class like this.
I have to take a
Because-
phone call.
Okay, moving on. Oh, yeah, here's my next screen. So that's everything I basically just said.
I
Sorry.
just dropped it in the chat. Yeah.
So that's everything basically I just said. So you put it in the chat, you said, let me find it.
Yes, yes.
I think just take my son over.
Thanks, Mariella.
Of course.
I don't have a piece.
Okay, let me go to that. All right. So is anybody here who wants to script practice?
I would like to, but I got two crazy toddlers right now.
Oh yeah, that doesn't work.
I do that on a daily basis with my employees and myself and the customers as well too. So
You do? That's awesome.
yes,
Great job, Chris. So script practice is not unfamiliar to you.
no, I mean, I was telling Joe, I do own a business and I've been in sales since literally I was 16. So so I've been doing this for a long time, the sales wise, and
So Chris, what sales were you in? What type of sales?
Well, in the beginning, I was at Costco selling the executive membership at that time.
Okay.
When I was
Yeah.
18. Before that, I grew up in Greece, so it's like I was selling clothes on the street, to come to United States. So we saved some money, yeah. And then after Costco, I became a manager at a T-Mobile store,
Awesome.
and then I had my own business, and now, I train
And
my
how lo-
employees that way too.
And how long are you in real estate?
Real estate, I just signed up literally. Today I'm gonna do my Main Street and pay for that and start,
Awesome.
the MLS next. Yeah.
Awesome. Congratulations. Yeah, I think
Thank you.
having those careers under your belt prior to coming into real estate is going to help you exponentially. Not to mention the contacts that you probably made, especially at T-Mobile and that. I mean, you should be able to fly in this business. That's awesome.
Correct. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for being here on the call today and just reinforcing what you already know, because that also helps increase your confidence level, right? Would you-
Yes. Again, and there's always room to improve, and there's always more room to learn.
Right. So now you just have to learn the real estate lingo, right? I mean, because
Correct.
how to present it is not going to be your problem whatsoever. It's just what to say when it
Sorry.
comes to real estate. I mean, getting to know
Yeah. Then
people, getting to know people, that's not going to be hard for you at all.
no, and then real estate is not like you buying a car or you buying a cell phone. Real estate, you're investing, $250,000 to $500,000 to $1 million. It's not
Right.
something that you could go tomorrow and change, your house.
Right.
It's just something, yeah.
Yeah, it's a big deal. It is a
Yeah.
big deal. And then you're going to have clients, I'm sure you're going to have clients who it's all about the numbers for them because they're investors. And then you're going to have clients who it's all about the emotion for them. So it's going to be a fun experience for you going forward, I'm sure.
Correct.
Cool.
I like challenges.
Good. Yeah, me too. I get
It
bored.
gets interesting. Something
Yeah.
easy is boring.
Yeah, I agree. I'm the same way, 100%. So that's awesome. All right. Well, I know Shaheen needs script practice. Oh, Shaheen, you're back. I know you.
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, I was talking with my seller. So, it was
Oh,
something very important, Can I talk? I don't know, maybe
yeah.
little. So
Yeah.
like, we got the, inspection done. So the listing agent came with a list of repairs and all. So my seller was saying, I don't have money to do all the repairs. What can I do? So she talked with the lawyer, and lawyer said, you just let me know what you think and let me know. So she called me. So I
Oh,
said,
yeah, because the lawyer wasn't giving her any advice on what to do, right? Gee,
yeah,
what a
yeah,
surprise. What a
yeah.
surprise. We're always the advice givers. So what
So,
did you recommend?
so I said, she said, no, I don't have money or something. I said, can we meet in the evening, because right now, just it's hard to say right away. I said like there are options. You can either like, give credit or something. So we can just come in the evening. So after 5 or 6, we will go to her and then we will discuss about everything.
Perfect.
So,
And you're right. So that's a script practice right there that we could do, Shaheen. So when you get to her house tonight,
yeah.
what do you think your conversation might be with her? So I'll pretend to be the seller, okay? And you be the agent, because that's what you're going to be tonight.
Okay.
Okay.
So the first thing I would just take the printout of everything, what we got it for the repairs and all. And point by point, we'll discuss what she says. She's not ready to fix that. So we can
Right.
like talk about, giving them a credit.
Right. So Shaheen, thanks for coming over tonight, because I'm really concerned. I don't know what to do. I mean, I want to sell my house and I don't want to lose this buyer, but I don't have money to just give it this. I mean, why do I have to fix everything for them? Isn't that, nobody fixed anything for me when I bought the house.
Okay.
So what would you say?
So I said, I will just say like what I said about the credit, right? I don't know.
You tell me. What pretend like we're there. Pretend like we're there. What are you going to say to me?
Okay, so I will say like, let's sit down and talk about like how we can give them credit, like all point by point, we can just go through all the points, what they want, and then accordingly we can give them a credit. So, and she's ready. She said, okay, let's discuss about that, because she was happy. Okay, oh, there is a solution. I said, yeah, there is a solution. If you
Okay.
don't have money, so we can just do that.
Okay. So one of the what I would do is I would do so far you're pretty on track. Okay. You bring the inspection report. Before you go there, you should hide like whatever items they brought to your attention. Did they give you the inspection report or just the list?
Just the list.
Okay, you don't want the inspection report, just so you know. Don't ask.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So you first go over the list and you should rate the list by level of importance.
Okay.
And by like, is it realistic? And your contract clearly states that an item in the house is deemed to be acceptable as long as it's functioning and in working order, not causing a hazard to health or safety. It's deemed to be acceptable regardless of age.
Okay.
So keep that in mind.
Yeah.
And the inspection report is also for major components of the house. So if it's silly little things, all over the house, like a loose doorknob here, a sticking door there, or whatever, I don't know what's on your list.
Yeah, there are a couple of things I had to read because I just got it in the morning and I didn't get much chance. I just saw it like some furnace or something like, I don't know, a couple of things.
Well, maybe the furnace needs to be cleaned. Maybe it just needs to be cleaned or whatever.
Service. Yeah,
cleaned and service. Okay, that's
and
fine.
There was other things too. I don't remember right now on the top of my head. Yeah, but there were like 4 or 5 something.
Okay, so that's fine. So if anything is like a minor little thing, you might be able to say, you know what, the contract doesn't call for us to have to fix this. If something is a bigger thing, then yeah, you're going to talk about, okay, you don't have a resource to fix this, whether it be knowing a person who can do it for you or being able to afford to pay it yourself. It may not even be that much money, maybe $50. If something is a couple of $100 or less, and she wants to fix it, she should fix it rather than give away $1,000 or more dollars.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you have to know.
I just told her like, maybe there are a couple of things that might be like, cheaper and other
Right.
things, we can just give them a credit. I just said like that.
Or maybe some things you're going to say no to. Be
Yeah.
open to saying no to some
Yeah.
things too, right? And then as far as the credit goes, when you go there tonight, make sure that you're going there with a seller's net sheet so that you know how much money she's walking away with right now and
Okay.
how much any credit would affect that.
Okay.
Okay, because she needs to know potentially the amount that she's walking away with before she knows how much money she's got to play with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so keep that in mind too. And it
Okay.
sounds like she's reasonable and you're going to come to an agreement. If it were a situation where it looked like it was going to be too big of a number and you weren't going to be able to get your seller to wrap their head around it, you then have to be prepared with the conversation of, okay, so the only other thing we can do is kill this deal, go back on the market, wait X number of days for a new buyer, have another inspection, maybe get even more items, and maybe sell for less money. So you need to have that conversation whenever you're going in to talk about renegotiating after a home inspection. You also have to have your backup conversation in your mind as to what you're going to do if your
Okay.
seller gets mad and
Mhm.
does not want to negotiate.
Okay.
And then you also have to have the script that you're going to have with the other agent, right?
Right.
So you see how many scripts we need? There's a script
Right.
for everything.
Yeah.
So you
This is the
also,
second one. We already had one that didn't go through, like it didn't go through. So
right. Yeah, I mean, I think that your team is good at, talking to your clients. So I think that by the time you go to your meeting tonight, you guys are going to know exactly what you're going to say going in and be able to keep things calm and moving forward.
Hmm.
So no
Yes.
concerns with that. In this situation, it sounds like anyway, because it sounds like your seller was relieved to hear you say the words.
Yeah, she was
"There
happy.
are
I said,
solutions."
oh, okay. She was really
Yeah,
happy because,
yeah.
the lawyer didn't say anything. I don't know. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that happens a lot. We do a lot more than people think we do.
Hmm.
So, getting back on track here. So Mariella did.
Thank you. Thanks for everything. Yeah. I
Oh,
was just like, yeah.
you're very welcome. You're very welcome. So, Mariella did post the PDF for the scripts for this class. So now you have it. Make sure you download it, print it if
Yeah.
you need to. There's the compliance for the do not call list. And then moving on, you have your lead generation scripts. And I know you've done these before. If you're new to Keller Williams, here's a script for you for that. Remind people that you're in real estate if you haven't talked to them for a while, or if you're talking to them for the first time about the fact that you're in real estate. Here's a script that helps you do that. And then calling for referrals, or actually calling referrals who were given to you. So there's a script for that. Calling personal and professional service industries. So that might be if you're trying to grow your business network, right? You would call them and say, look, I refer to you, you refer to me. It's a win-win situation. We don't pay for referrals. Remember that. That's illegal. You can gift, but the gift amount is small. It's $25. So here's if you're going to go door knocking. Obviously, when you're on the phone, right, you can have a script in front of you to help you, right? Like if you get off track, you can take a glance over at your script and get back in, in place. But when you're door knocking or meeting with somebody face to face, you really can't do that.
Yeah.
So you have to have it ingrained in you.
Right.
Now, one thing that helped me a lot with keeping on track with buyers and sellers with my first meetings with them, listing appointment, as well as buyer consultation, was to have like a questionnaire, right? And literally, so it just looked like I was asking them questions and writing in answers, but literally the questionnaire was the script. So it kind of like, bullet points also help, right? So you could have bullet points in your questionnaire to remind you of where you're supposed to be next, and then the question so that you don't forget to ask the question that you want to ask each and every person. So if you have it like in a questionnaire, it just looks like you came prepared with a questionnaire to ask them questions and write down answers. So that helped me stay on track a lot when I was new in the business and stay with the script. The other thing that scripts do is it's very easy for clients to get off on a tangent, right? You could be talking about one thing and then they start talking about something else. And then all of a sudden you're going way off, like up the mountain on a whole different conversation that has nothing to do with the meeting that you're there for. So when you find a point or a break in that other side conversation, the script will help you bring everything back to track, back on track. Or even if you have that questionnaire, you'll be like, you know what, gosh, I'm so glad you told me that. That was really a cool story, or, that was really important to know. Now, I need to ask you this next question because it's really important. And you can bring them back, but you can't bring somebody back if you lose track of where you're at, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Which is another reason why the scripts are important, because if you know where you're supposed to go next, you just know. You have to let them talk if they start going a little off, but you have to know when to find that break in their breath, in their conversation, to pull them back. Social media messages. Remember, I was talking about how even scripts for social media are important today. That's something that's different. We didn't have that when I was new in the business. So that's like a whole new animal to me. What to say, how to say it, how short do you keep it? Do you use emojis? Do you not use emojis? When you text, what do you do? How does your tone sound? How do you keep it light? Because texting and emails and social media, they can't see us. They can't hear our tonality. They cannot hear our rate of speech, right? All it is words on a flat piece of paper or a flat screen.
Yeah.
So how do you make those sentences so that you're keeping it light and that they don't read anything into it that's going to make them feel a certain way other than happy? Okay.
Yeah.
So it's important. And on the command in the there's so many things that you can pull off of command when you go into oh my gosh, what do you call it? Campaigns and that. And when you go into setting people up in campaigns, there's so many things that people have posted that they have used and has worked for them. You can just plagiarize the heck out of that. You don't even have to recreate it if it's not something you're good at. Okay, because I'm not good at writing cool, fun social media posts. I'm just not good at it. I'm more like, okay, to the point, like, here's business. This is what I got. You want it? But that doesn't work for people, especially now. You have to be more fun. It has to be interesting. It has to attract them and pull them in. Okay. This talks about how to get your this is the verbiage for how to get your app, download your app and send it to clients to do. Here's an inventory script, which is important right now. Inventory is low right now, right?
Yeah.
So, those are the conversations we're having with people. How's the market? You know what? The market's great. Unfortunately, we don't have enough inventory. So are you looking to sell? Because now's a great time. Then that leads us into the conversation of if they do want to sell, what are they going to do when they sell? Where are they going to go to? Because again, inventory is low. So where are we taking them once they sell? Some sellers want to buy before they sell. And in this market, it's wise if you can do that. Yet at the same time, if you're a contingent buyer in a multiple offer situation, they don't have a lot of strength unless they're really paying a lot of money. And maybe if they've already got a contract, they have a stronger leg to stand on. So those are conversations we have to have with them as well about that. This got off track. Let me back up. So this is where we left off before. And then we were going to role play. I think we just role played a couple of things right now that helped. In actual situations. I love that when actual situations actually come up when we're in the midst of these classes.
It was just I got a phone call. So
yeah. I love when that happens because then you can. It's so much easier to practice a real situation, right?
Right.
Because you're in it. it just makes it easier than trying to conjure up a story. So this was going to be a role play part. So this is how you're going to role play. If you role play with somebody, whether it's in the office or on the phone, right? Pick a script, pick a partner, practice. Now you notice that it says stand up. So partner A is going to stand up and follow the 6 steps, which were the steps above. And partner B is going to hold partner A accountable. And then you're going to switch and repeat. So one of you plays the client, one of you plays the agent. The person who is actually presenting, they tell you to stand up because it gives you more energy. When you're standing, your body movement is more natural, is more free, and your energy level is higher, which you hear in your voice. And especially if you're on the phone with somebody, it's very hard sometimes if their voice is coming across the line as flat and unexciting. It's hard to really want to like be in that conversation with them. So, and you're going to make sure when you do script practice with somebody, when you do role play with somebody, be honest. Okay. Be honest with your feedback. Don't be unkind, be kind, but be honest, because you're not going to help them if you're not going to be honest with them and say, you know what, I really love what you said here. I think what you said here, though, could use some tweaking. Let's talk about it real quick, you know? Or, you know, when you said this, it kind of came off as a little harsh. Or when you said that, it kind of came off as, you know, not really important. Did you want it to sound more important? So you have to make sure that you're doing that, and you have to be open when you're receiving that kind of feedback. You have to be open to receiving it and understand that the person giving it is truly, if they're being honest with you and critiquing you in that way, they are truly trying to help you. They are coming, you know, with you with the attitude of helping you, not hurting you. So don't be defensive, because that can happen sometimes. All right. So just be honest with each other. 15 minutes a day. If you do 15 minutes a day, each reciting scripts. And again, if you don't want to role play with somebody else, or you don't have the time, or you don't have a partner right now, please use the other methods. This is another one I used to do too. I didn't tell you about this one. Record yourself saying your scripts on your phone and play them back. Well, you can do it while speaking along, or you can just listen to yourself sometimes too. Just listening to yourself saying it also puts it like in your mind. And it
Good
also
idea.
it also
That is so true and so scary. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
It is true and scary. But it is scary because you also hear how you sound. And we never like the sound of our own voice. Like I don't ever watch my
That's true.
I never watch my recordings over on this thing. Because
That's why I don't
never
have my Zoom camera on. I don't like the way I think I look.
I don't like the way I look. I don't like the way I sound. I never like my background. There's always something, right?
I think it's everyone is like that. Yeah.
Everyone is. And yet it's a really good way for you to critique yourself, right?
Yeah.
So if you listen back to yourself, the way you sound, you can hear yourself like, oh God, I sounded kind of not so nice right there. Like my tone was a little kind of biting, you know, and I don't want to sound like that. So I need to work on that sentence a little bit. Right. So you can do it yourself too. And it will still be, you know, have an effect. It will be effective for you. And then, you know, again, we talked about, like, here the last thing is, like, what additional ideas do you have for building a daily habit of script practice? Time might be a thing for you. Maybe it's the first thing in the morning when you get out of bed. That's what you want to do. You want to do 10 minutes of self-script practice. Maybe you want to do it after dinner with your spouse. Oh my God, my spouse was the biggest not nice client I ever role played with in my life. He gave me every single challenge and pushed and pushed and pushed. He would give me like 20 objections, no matter how much I said. So if I answer that question for you, will you be ready to move forward tonight? Yeah, sure. I'd answer the question and he'd give me another one. I'm like, no. That wasn't the agreement. So when you're role playing, challenge yourself, challenge the other person, but at the end, let them win, and they should let you win. Okay? Because you need to have that feeling too. Let them, give them the appointment, take the appointment. You know what I mean? Give them the listing, take the listing, give them the contract on the buyer. You know what I mean? Do you understand what I'm saying? Because we have to have that win, 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 win feeling, even if it's just in role play, because that will help us when we go in real play. Don't role play on your clients. That's the only thing I say. Role play with yourself, role play with your spouse, your kids, another agent, anybody. Don't role play with your clients. Don't never say a script until you're in front of a client. That's the worst thing you could do. Okay. Any recaps and ahas at this point? Anything I need to go over again, or anything that, you're like, oh, wow, that's great. Something new that I learned.
You were so good, like with telling it, with teaching everything, even like, the understanding scripts, role model thing. And I got something that I'm going to go in the evening, so I'm really glad.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Shaheen.
Thank you so much.
No,
Sally.
I always appreciate your feedback when you come in my classes, and
Thank you so much.
I appreciate your interaction to it. It makes it easier for the instructors when the students are able to interact with us, because it keeps our energy up and it keeps this whole thing going. And like I said, you oftentimes have a situation happening that kind of rolls right into what we're working on.
Even I think last time it happened. I remember.
You did.
Yeah.
There was something last time as well, and that
Yeah.
works out great because it helps us so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
So now here we have this. What does this say? Benefit. I think I skipped the screen. There we go. Ahas to achievement. So how has your thinking changed? Just went over that. What ideas or mindsets were new? So you talked about that too, and I told you about like different times that you could do it and different ways you could do it. Hopefully you're feeling differently about scripts now. If you had an objection to scripts before, I hope that after this class now, you don't have an objection to doing them and to using them now, because you understand the importance of them and how freeing they can actually be for you in your business. And how will your behaviors be different going forward? What actions will you take going forward? Hopefully your actions will be to script practice. Chris already knows the value of script practice and scripts in his business because of his history in sales. And now he just has to learn the real estate verbiage. He'll have everything else down pat. So he's fortunate. Shaheen, I know you're open to script practicing, and I know you'll do other things. And Victoria, when she can she needs to practice on her toddlers. They're going to probably say no to everything. So, and then tools, models, or systems you definitely need to use. So social media, right? You have your social media tools. You have some scripts for social media, also command. So you can send emails out also for lead generating and using specific scripts for that. We have a lot of different ways. Don't be afraid to script practice. Don't be afraid to lead generate. Just find the way that works for you. You just have to do it. It's the same with any systems, right? With your database, with your calendar. What's the best calendar? The one you're going to use. What's the best database? The one you're going to use. I use Command because that's what is offered to us. I used to use Top Producer and paid every month for that. I don't do that anymore because I have a system that's being built for me and ties in with everything else. So that's what I'm using. Daily success habits. 10 contacts a day added to your database. 10 conversations a day. Conversations, right, with anybody, where you interject the fact that you're in real estate and ask them if they have any interest in doing any real estate transactions or know anybody who does, right? It can easily be part of a conversation. Handwritten notes are very very popular and very needed right now, right? We all need some TLC. Life's been hard the last year and a half for everybody. And it doesn't have to just be to a client, right? It could be to an old friend.
Yeah.
Hey, I was thinking about you today and I just wanted to send you a card. Hope everything is well with you. Let's catch up one day, whatever. And then the 10 home previews, we already talked about the importance of home previews. You get to know the inventory, you get to know the area, you get to familiarize yourself with different home layouts and features, right? So that you're more comfortable when you're showing homes. So those are all pluses. Scripts. We talked about why it's important to learn, internalize, and I can't move it, and personalize them. Once you internalize it, personalizing just comes naturally. It's just a conversation. When we lead generate, we're uncovering motivations with our scripts and our questions, identifying objections, using them to close deals. If we don't ask for the order, we're never going to get it, right? So in our scripts, then we always say, like I said, if they have an objection and you repeat the objection to them, then you answer it, or before you answer it, you say, is that your only question? Objections are just questions, right? Objection sounds negative. Excuse me, I'm gonna close the door. So objection, the word objection kind of, I don't know, has a negative feel sometimes. It's all it is a question. So if somebody has a question, like say for example, you're at a listing appointment and the seller says, Sally, we're just not really certain that now is the time for us to go on the market, with everything the way it is. We're not certain we can find a home when we sell our home, and then we're going to be homeless. So that's what you're going to say. You're going to say, okay, so what I'm understanding is you're afraid that you're going to sell your home quickly because of the way the market is, and that you won't have yet found a home for you to move to. Is that correct? Am I understanding you correctly? Yeah, that's what we're saying. Great. If I can answer that question for you, if I can give you a solution to that problem, is there anything else stopping you from listing your home with me today? You want to make sure that that's the only thing, in the hopes that they're not going to then throw another curveball at you, right?
Yeah.
So then you answer the objection. Okay, great. So here's what we could do. We could go out and take a look at some homes this weekend so you can see what's actually on the market, so that you can get a feel for whether or not what's being offered in the price range you're comfortable with is something that you would be willing to buy. We can also talk about negotiating your sale contract so that the buyer gives you the time needed to find a home and close on that home. So say, for example, a 60-day closing. That gives you 30 days to find a home and another 30 days to close on it. Would that make you feel more comfortable? So, there are answers. There are ways around that even. So, or let's talk about what are your options? Like, is there someplace you could move if you didn't find a house and, quickly enough? Like, could you put your things in storage and stay with your parents? Could you put your things in storage and stay with a friend, a sibling, whatever? Would you want to rent? Maybe we could find you a short-term rental so that you can take the time to find the home you want. There's lots of solutions to that problem.
Yeah.
The thing is, you have to find the solution that suits them. And then that's how you close the deal. Great, we found a solution. Sign here. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. And again, we talked at the beginning, speak in terms the customer understands. If you're going to send them a CMA, don't tell them you're sending them a CMA. I'm going to send you a comparative market analysis that shows you what other homes in your area like yours have been selling for. Okay.
Right.
I'm not going to put it in the MLS. We're going to use the multiple listing service, right? That's what they understand. Okay. And building, the building confidence just comes naturally when you know the scripts. Okay. 30-minute role play, do not call list. Everybody knows about the do not call list, right? And knows that you should be checking numbers if you're not using a list that's already scrubbed.
Yeah.
So subscribe to the registry, update your call list regularly, know the state and federal laws, check before you call. Check before you call, and honor consumers' requests. If they tell you don't call me anymore, tell the office, because they have a list there too, that the consumer does not want any calls from our office anymore. Legion, more role play. See, this is because this is a script class. If we were doing this in person, this would all be role play time. Do you see that? We have a 30-minute role play. We have a do not call list. We have a 1 hour role play. We have a 30-minute role play. Okay. So now update contacts and follow up. Okay. I know that they do want me to show you that real play content. Let me go to command. They want me to show you how to update your contacts and put notes in. So let's get out of here. Let me go to my, here we go. So if I'm in my contacts and let's just say, yeah. So I search for a person. Oh, I'll use my mom. Hi, Mom. So let's say I called this client today, right? Now I want to make sure that the next time I call her, I'm going to remember what I talked to her about last time, right?
Yeah.
So I can add a note right here. I can just go to notes. I can click add note. This little guy. And then I can say, what's today? The 9th. So 4/09, 09/21. You have to know how to spell. So then I just put my, oh, sorry, note title. Backing up. I forgot that it's this way. So my note title, let me take this description out and just put it down here. And then my note title would be maybe checking in. And maybe that's all I want to say, checking in. And then this is what I did. I talked with Soledad today about her summer plans and if she is thinking of selling her property. So see, I'm not necessarily just calling about real estate, especially, Chris, did you have something? Or whoever? I might be calling because let's just say I knew somebody got a new puppy a couple months ago. I might be calling and saying, hey, I was just thinking about your puppy and I was wondering, how's it going? Is it house trained yet? You know, how the doctor visits been, whatever, you know, and then say, all right, well, just, I'm gonna let you go, but just a quick reminder, don't forget I'm in real estate. So if you know anybody looking to buy or sell, please, you know, feel free to pass my information to them or pass theirs to me and I'll reach out to them. We always want to throw it in there, but it doesn't have to be the main part of our call. And if something bad's happening in their life right now, you don't even want to say it.
Right.
You just want to have condolences for them and then make a note and then follow up again to make sure they're okay later, whether it be that they had a surgery, they've been sick, they, you know, whatever, they've had a loss, whatever. Okay. So that's super easy. Everybody knows how to do that, right? How to find your contacts and how to update them now. Let me just see something else. Cause there was another part in here where you can add an oh, and then see when I come back in, do you see where my note is displaying?
Yeah.
So I didn't even have to put the date in there. I could have just put checking in. If I go to activities, like I might want to add an activity, right? Like to call them. I think I can add an activity. So I can add an activity in here to call her, to call the client. Let's just say, I'm going to just go all the way out here because that's her birthday. Happy birthday. And then, why? And then save. So now it's going to remind me on that day that I have to make a phone call.
Nice.
Yep. So if I go to my calendar, if there were other things in, no, we're not doing that. I'll verify that it's me. Yeah, it's me. So it'll actually put it on my Google Calendar if I'm using this. Okay. So if I go down to October,
Month. You have to go in month.
it'll show it to me. It should show it to me on there. But I don't see it. Isn't that interesting? I think I put it on the right day.
Yeah, you did on October 12th.
Yeah. Okay. Something I need to figure out why that's not working. It should work where you could put it on, but it doesn't matter because Kelly's
Maybe
gonna
you
show
need
it.
to go to on the left side. There is a birthday thing. I don't know. I just
Oh,
saw
maybe,
that.
maybe. But regardless, Kelly's going to remind me to do this. It's going to come up on my Kelly app, or when I come into here on the day on that day, it should show up as a task right here. Okay, on my home screen.
Probably just hasn't synced yet to your calendar because you just
That's
added it.
yeah, you're probably right. You're probably because it was instantaneous like that.
Yeah. Fine.
Right. So that's how you do that. That's a simple one. And then create your success list. So what's your to-do list? What do you have to do? What's priority? And the tasks. We were talking about lists on Kyle's call today too, his mastermind call. So it's just funny how everything kind of ties together. And looks like I'm basically done with this course. Unless you have any questions or anything you'd like to role play with me, I'm happy to do that as well. Anybody?
No, thank you.
No, thank you. It
I
was all-
really appreciate all of your attention today. Thank you so much for showing up and for
It was a great class today. Yeah,
Thank you
I'm
for your
happy.
time.
Yeah.
Thank you,
so much.
Sally.
You're welcome. Thanks
Thank you.
everybody. It's only great when I have great people on it. Thank you so much.
Nice meeting
Thank you.
Oh,
You
you're so
too,
sweet.
Chris. I look forward to seeing what you're gonna do.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye everybody. Have a good
Bye-bye.
day.
Bye.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.